Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got another book review for you today. I'm going to try things a little bit differently with my book reviews. We'll see if this sticks, but I'm going to bring up the table of contents I've got on my phone here just to jog my memory about some of the ideas and concepts in the book, because sometimes I'll read a book and I know I got a lot from it, but I need some kind of a memory jogger in order for me to remember the salient points in the book at a conscious level. Now, I think that a lot of the books that we read, we subconsciously absorb a lot of that information, but we don't realize that we have that information until we have some kind of a trigger. And a lot of times that'll happen just throughout life. But when I'm doing a review here on the channel, I thought it's probably a good idea maybe to have some of these triggers to be able to talk about the book a little bit more. So, the book that I'm going to be talking about today is called The Gifts of Imperfection. Actually, I should be on this side. And I think it's on this side. I always forget which side, damn it. Anyway, the book is here. I got the audiobook. It is by Brené Brown. This was a book that was highly recommended to me by quite a few people, and just her as an author she's been recommended a lot of her books. The Gifts of Imperfection, what is this about? So this book is really, I think, so Brené Brown is a researcher. She did a lot of research and wrote books about shame and did some shame research. I haven't read any of her other books yet, to be honest, but I am going to be reading Daring Greatly, and I'll probably read some of her other books since I do like what she has to say. But a lot of the stuff like that she wrote about, she wasn't actually practicing in her life, right? So she realized this, that she was very analytical. She was sort of writing about these about people living sort of this whole life, and she wasn't living this whole life. So I actually resonate a lot with this, right? Because this was me for a long time, is that I was living this life of a very analytical engineering mindset, didn't believe in all the woo-woo crap. You can check out that video I did on why are you a new age, whatever it is, John, where I talk about this. But essentially, I was not living from a place of abundance. I was not living from my heart. I was living from my head mostly, right? And that, it seems like the logical thing to do. It seems like the right thing to do in life, but it does not really lead to real fulfillment. And you cannot be your best self, and you cannot live up to your potential if you're living that way, right? You maybe accomplish a lot of things, and you may, think that you're living your life the right way, but something is going to be missing. And this is sort of what she stumbled upon here with her research. I think she hit this period of depression, and she realized that, is this all there is to life? Like so many people do. So, what is the book about? Well, the book is about this idea of wholehearted living, right? This idea of putting yourself out there, exploring vulnerability, putting yourself in positions that might make you feel uncomfortable in life, but really living your life as opposed to theoretically living your life and being so protected and trying to, live in such a guarded way, right? And she breaks this down. I'm actually going to go through some of these sections here just so I can, pick apart all the things. She basically took a lot of these words, these kind of woo-woo words out there, and she gave them more formal definitions, and she talked about what it means. So the first thing she talks about is courage, compassion, and connection, the gifts of imperfection. So, this idea that courage, right, is so important to have, that a lot of times being courageous is like admitting the truth of how you feel, right? It doesn't mean being a wuss, but it means like admitting the actual truth of how do you feel, and being able to be connecting and vulnerable with people. Vulnerability is important. Vulnerability actually shows strength when you're willing to be vulnerable, because it's just that, you know what? This doesn't actually, you can't actually hurt me. I'm willing to share something with you. I'm willing to be genuine with you and be true with you and build a real connection, because you can't actually hurt me. So you might say that a lot of what I reveal to you on this YouTube channel is somewhat vulnerability, right? Because I don't think you hear something I say and you say, oh, John's weak. I think you probably say, well, I wouldn't talk about that. I'm embarrassed, or I'm shy to talk about that, right? I've done some pretty controversial videos, some pretty very self-revealing videos. I've always been pretty authentic and genuine on the channel. It's been my goal here, and I live my life transparently. I live my life out in the open and in public, but it's because I'm coming from a place of strength, because I actually know that, it doesn't threaten me. I guess that's what I would say here. So a lot of these things resonated with me deeply. And I didn't know this, by the way. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to like say, oh, I'm so smart and I'm so strong, I can be vulnerable. What I'm saying is that I didn't understand this for a large portion of my life. And I didn't live this way, but once I started living this way, and I had the courage to actually be vulnerable and to share things and to still have that strength, I realized that that is the way to live. That being guarded and not revealing things and being and not being vulnerable might appear to be strong, but it's actually not strong. Okay. So I'll pass through a couple other things here. So another chapter was exploring the power of love, belonging, and being enough. This is a big problem that people struggle with, is not feeling like they're not enough. The things that get in the way. She said, cultivating authenticity, letting go of what people think. This is, right? Do I talk about this all the time? This idea of letting go of what people think. I don't give a fuck what someone thinks. I'm going to do what I'm going to do in life. And you can't worry about looking silly or stupid or looking like an idiot. You got to live your life authentically. And the only way to be authentic is to not care what other people think. Again, with this YouTube channel, right? A lot of people think, oh, yeah, goofy fucking guy making YouTube videos. I don't care. It doesn't matter, because I'm doing this I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you, but I'm doing it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am making the videos and the topics and talking about what I want to talk about, not to what will be the most popular thing. It's because this is what is coming from me. This is what I want to share with the world. This is my art to some degree, right? And you have to do that if you're really going to reach the height of what you're capable of in life and to be fulfilled, okay? Cultivating self-compassion, letting go of perfectionism, huge one, right? Getting rid of that perfectionist mindset. It takes us down. We don't get things done because we're perfectionists, and we feel like nothing is ever going to be perfect. Life is a fucking really messy place, right? And as much as I like to clean it up and make it nice and organized and simplify things as much as possible, it's still messy. It can't be perfect. You got to ship it, right? One of the things I had to learn so much in life was this idea that just ship it. Like, it can't be perfect, and I can't be perfect, but I can grow, okay? And I can put something out there. Cultivating a resilient spirit, letting go of numbing and powerlessness. This one is a huge one that took me a long time to discover in my life. She talks about this idea that you can't just be numb to the world. Like, when you're numb, you don't feel pain, but you also don't feel pleasure. And I live my life in this fortress, this barrier that I created, trying to, what I'd call stonewalling or being numb, because I was tired of pain. So I said, you know what, how am I going to deal with pain? Well, the way I'm going to deal with pain is I'm not going to feel it. I'm going to be numb to it. You can't hurt me. Okay, and when I was like that, when I was like, you can't hurt me, I was literally like a zombie, because not only could you not hurt me, but you couldn't get through to me. You couldn't build a deep connection with me. I didn't have any real ties. I couldn't feel pleasure either, not really. And so I had to let go of that and instead embrace this idea of that, yeah, I will feel pain. Okay, I am not numb to it, but I will let it pass. I will let it go through me. I won't suffer. Just because you feel pain doesn't mean you have to suffer, right? You can let go of the pain. You can experience it. You can experience all of the aspects of humanity and of life, but you don't have to let them become you, and you don't have to dwell on them. So I'm willing to be putting myself out there, to be open, to experience the pain, the pleasures of life, the ups and downs, but I'm willing to hold on to them loosely as well at the same time. All right, so then what do we have here? I'm going to kind of rush through the rest of this. Cultivating gratitude and joy, letting go of scarcity and the fear of the dark. Another really good important point where she talks about joy and gratitude being so much more important than fear. Like, it's the opposite of fear, like, and dark. So and I don't mean to say that in just like a sense of it, but essentially, a lot of people talk about gratitude, but what does it mean? True gratitude and joy. She talks about that. Really good stuff there. Cultivating intuition and trusting faith, letting go of the need for certainty. Another one that I used to be very, very guilty of, and I started letting go of certainty, and man, my life has just improved drastically. Cultivating creativity, letting go of comparison, which is also good. Creativity is something that I actually have another book I just finished. I'm going to do a review on, called Play, which coincidentally I ended up picking up that book at the same time. And it talks about the same concept. And in fact, she says cultivating play and rest, letting go of exhaustion is a status symbol, and productivity is self-worth. Totally agree with that. Cultivating calm and stillness, letting go of anxiety, and then meaningful work, and then cultivating laughter, song, and dance. So basically, what is this book essentially about? It's about living a real authentic self. It's about this holistic living that I talk about a lot on this channel that I think is so important. And it's about like getting rid of all that baggage and shit. Now, I think that Brené Brown has taken it a little bit far, but she went where she had to go, right? I mean, I think to some degree she's overcompensated and pushed too far the other direction, with doing like, saying, oh, I need to enjoy life more and not spend so much time working and whatnot. And I don't, I can't fully subscribe to that for most people. At some point in your life, right? I talk about this idea of seasons in life, and I think at different seasons in life, you're going to have to work really hard and bust ass. You know what I mean? And so at a different season in life, maybe you're chillaxing a little bit more, or maybe you're, pursuing creative things. But you have these cycles and you have these seasons and you go through them. And so it's not just that, okay, you need to just, chill out all the time and like have this balance of all these things. But so I think there's a little bit of that element to it, but wholeheartedly I have to agree with Brené Brown and what she wrote in this book. I mean, this is definitely the way to live your life, and this is something I didn't discover for a long time. This book would have been a lot more impacting to me had I discovered this a long time ago. I've already gone through all these pains, all these struggles, and so it's kind of interesting to see that she's writing about these things that I didn't know about. So I highly recommend the book if you to anyone. I think it's a really good book, but especially if you feel like your life is devoid of kind of meaning and you're just kind of going through the motions and you feel like you just need to accomplish things or do things and you're not living up to that, because there's more to life than that, and a lot of it is just, it's going to be opening yourself and becoming somewhat vulnerable and allowing people in, allowing yourself to experience the full spectrum of human emotion, but not let it take you. And that's the key, is to not let it take you. That's the hard part. Is a lot of people get overwhelmed. They either go to the numb or they go to the just being flushed away and taken away by every storm of human emotion that comes through their path. The stoic path is to neither be taken off of either path, to have your mission and to have your goal, but not to be a zombie as you walk towards it. So that's all I got for you today. Again, the book is called, what is it called? The Imperfections. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection and is by Brené Brown, and I highly recommend it. Go check it out. And if you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button below, click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.